Joaquin Phoenix must have the best psychiatrist in the world, because man, the kind of roles that he picks, they're so psychologically engaging that I don't think a normal person would actually be able, because for actors I believe they have to internalize, they have to take everything in and internalize, and in order to be able to bring out certain characters, and some may affect who they are in the normal world, because you literally become this character. And you've seen Joker and you see what he became in Joker, and then you look at his character as Beau in Beau Is Afraid, and you're like, wow, this person must actually have a lot of strength psychologically to take actually characters like this. Now, Beau Is Afraid I wouldn't call it a movie. For me, I looked at it as an artwork, an abstract artwork, because it's not designed to tell you, it's not designed to entertain you. It's designed for you to watch it and get out of it what you think works with you. Now, I don't mean that there's no theme. I don't mean that there's no story. There's a story, there's a theme, there is a structure, but it's not structured in the way that we are used to. Ari Aster uses his own, and you've seen his previous movies. You've seen Hereditary, you've seen Midsommar. Midsommar is one of my favorite because of the visual language. The fact that you will take a cult movie and turn it into a horror movie, and it's all bright. It's not like dark and stuff. So his ability to actually do that, for me, sets him apart. And in this movie, he actually now goes into that, but 100% or 200%, because he goes all out in terms of him being unique in how he expresses his themes. Now, the best way to describe this movie is, I don't know if you remember 2017's Mother. Take that movie, add Christopher Nolan as the director, then give him a very, give him paranoia and anxiety as his theme. That's the best way I can describe Beau. A Christopher Nolan version of Mother that focuses on anxiety and paranoia. That's what I saw. But this is Ari Aster, and he has established himself as that kind of a director. So comparing him to Christopher Nolan would be a crime, because he has his own distinct way of doing what he's doing. So, is this the kind of movie that I would advise you to see if you've never watched a movie? Or let's pause, let's just go back. Let's look at what the story is. The shell of this story, the skeleton of this story is a very basic story. It's this paranoia, anxious individual trying to go to his mother's funeral. That's all. That's the story. That's the odyssey. Because between that point of his apartment and the mother's funeral, there's so many things that happen. That's why I call it. That's why people are calling it an odyssey, because there's just so many things between those 2 points that. And I don't mean things that you can comprehend. Some things you cannot comprehend. Even at some points, I started thinking that what I was watching was not real. Everything was happening in his head, because the world is exaggerated. The world is, everything feels extreme in a way that doesn't. And for an anxious person, I think this is what they go through. So I did not think that most of the things that were happening. Now, here's the thing about the journey. So you get the journey, he gets where he's going, and after he gets where he's going, then there's another now thing that pops up that again builds onto who we've been introduced to, and now challenges what we've been introduced to, and the idea of the mother character, and mother as a figure, mother as someone whose influence can affect a person up to the older age. Up to the time that he grows up. There's also a very interesting concept on the take of sex in general. What happens? I mean, you can see his mother's depiction of sex, how it affects his life throughout the story. I'm trying to go into this without spoiling it for people. So there's a very interesting take. Let me just put it this way: there's a very interesting take on sex and its implication, because there are things that happen to some characters when a Mariah Carey song is playing that leave you like, damn, okay, that's insane. And there's a portrayal of genitals that also is absolutely very, very interesting. Now, for the general audience, when you walk into this, you need to shut off your brain and pretend that whatever you're going to be watching, it's something that you've never experienced before. So don't have any expectations, just chill, relax, and have a good time, because at its core, it's a very cinematic experience, but very, very funny. There's a sense of humor in how you watch this person trying to navigate his insanity. And it's dark humor, by the way. I'm not saying that it's humor. It's dark humor because there's some things that you find yourself laughing at when you are not actually supposed to be laughing at them, or when they just feel kind of uncomfortable laughing about them, but you can't help yourself because of how the director decides to capture some moments. So it's a very psychedelic experience, let me put it that way. And if as I said, if you are a general audience, if you're not into film, don't bother. If you are into film and you actually, this movie should be a part of film schools. It should be given to film schools so that wannabe filmmakers like myself can actually watch them and get a different idea on how you can approach particular themes. In this case, it's anxiety, paranoia, parenthood, motherhood, that mother-son codependence and dependency. And Ari Aster takes a very interesting take on how these two things work. Ari Aster takes a very interesting take on how he handles these themes using distinct visual styles. There's animation. There's a segment that is a play. There's a segment that feels like it's Judgment Day for Beau. It just applies different stylistic, artistic approach to cinema that you don't usually see in today's modern cinema, because today we're making movies like Fast Furious franchises. We want to see explosions, but in a world where we have all that madness, I'm glad that A24 decided to just create a movie for the sake of creating a movie. Make an expression, not a movie, because this is less of your audience. We have this thing for you, come and watch. This is more of, we have this thing, you can come watch it. It's very, very entertaining if you take your time to understand it. It's a very boring, convoluted story if you're not used to this style of, cinema making, filmmaking. For the normal film goer, this would be a 2.5. For a film student or a person who appreciates film, this would be a 4.5. Yeah, it's actually really, really good if you understand the ideas, if you understand what the director is trying to do, if you understand the visual languages that are used, if you understand the acts, if you understand when an act ends and another one begins, because there's something he does after every 30 minutes that throws you off. You can't tell which act. You actually get lost. Even if you're a film student, yes, you feel like you've moved to a different act, but then you do something else that will make you feel like you are in the third act or the first act. That will totally jumble you up. So if you're a person who understands those things, you may find it extremely enjoyable. For the normal viewers, they may find it funny, but not to their taste. So yeah, that's Beau Is Afraid. It's a very trippy movie. Should you watch it on cinema or streaming, I would suggest, if you really want to watch something different, unlike anything you've ever seen, and you're ready for just a different cinematic experience, go for it on cinema. If you really want to study and understand this film, I would urge you to wait on it on streaming. If you're just an ordinary film guy and you just want to be entertained, yeah, you may have a challenge with this one. Plus, it's like almost 3 hours long. It's a really long movie. So yeah, that's Beau Is Afraid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.